All right, guys. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Black Dawgs Podcast. As of late, you've seen us do a lot of From the Dog's Mouth. But, of course, we normally have regular podcasts, and we want to get back to giving the people what they want. And I'm not stealing it from the Jalen Rose podcast, but I know people want to hear our perspective. So I try not to steal, but I think it is what we're doing. We're giving people what they want. And it's a few hot topics that we need to discuss. KT's left, so it seems like it's in some ways long overdue. So we're just going to kind of touch on that. And then there was an interesting debate someone brought up. They talked about whether or not Lane Kiffin or Mike Leach would dominate the state of Mississippi. With two coaches that are such polarizing figures, it is kind of an interesting topic just to discuss. Of course, we're Bulldogs. Of course, we want to ride with our coach. But does that person make a valid argument about what Lane Kiffin brings to the table and who will truly own the state of Mississippi? Then we'll get to the Bulldogs in the draft. Who'll get drafted right now? We're projected to have about 5 guys get drafted at least. And then after that, we'll get to our all-time 3-on-3 for basketball. We've broken it down into brackets, and we're going to have a round each week. Like this week, we're going to have the first round with 8 teams. Then next week is going to be 4 teams. And then the week after that, it'll be our final bracket about who will win the all-time top.
Yeah, y'all forgive me for leaving off some stars, So I'll do better next time. I've been getting fussed at all day. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
And we'll be taking feedback from fans when it comes to who should win these all-time matchups. So after we decide, we can post it in our group, and then you'll be giving us your opinions, and we can use that and whether or not determine who goes to the next round in our all-time 3-on-3. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce all the guys. I don't do all the typical pleasantries that AJ does. So I guess we can go to our senior member of the podcast today, which would be
Gabe this week.
So
yes, I'm young.
So Gabe, I want to ask, how's work been since you're now essential again?
Senior member of the cast stuff.
Thank
Man,
you.
I'm not going back to work. So work is wonderful for me because I'm not there. And I'm not risking my life to go back right now, regardless of what the governor says. I've expressed as much publicly in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and the people can go and read that article that came out yesterday. So it's good for me.
You wrote an article for the newspaper on that?
I got a call from one of the journalists that he wanted to interview me. So my quotes are in there in bold print. If the governor wants to cut hair, he can come get my clippers and go and cut all the hair he wants to cut.
Tell him to come cut my hair because I look crazy.
I'm sure. Charge him triple.
Hey, y'all a phase 1 state, man, so.
Right.
Y'all got to get to work. All right, so our next senior member of the podcast, Derek Thompson, man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm good, man. Just ready for the weekends, hump day, ready for the NFL draft, watch the first round. Hopefully we have a Bulldog called in the first round, but all we can do is hope.
All right, Ricardo, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
So, Ricardo, tell me how you feeling, man.
Man, I kind of feel like poo, man. But at the same time, I'm ready for tomorrow, see who gets drafted. I'm still a little steamed over the episode y'all did Saturday with the Zenzo, man. I really wanted to ask that dude a question. I got a couple questions I wanted to ask him. But, hey, can't cry with spilled milk.
He'll be back on, so you can ask him then.
Yeah.
He said he's going to come back.
I'm sure. We got a couple former Bulldogs I think would be great guests during the season. So, all right, guys, I know we all got things to do, so let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, so the first item of discussion is KT has finally decided to transfer. And I do mean finally again. Yes, he's finally decided to skip out. So do you think this is long overdue? And kind of the second part of the question, is it kind of unfortunate we never really probably got a chance to see what KT could do in stretches? I mean, Garrett Schrader got a chance to be Garrett Schrader for 6 or 7 games this season. So is it a shame that we never got a chance to see, what he at least could be? I'm going to start with Ricardo.
This is like, I don't know, man. I feel like the whole.
I'm gonna let you get it out your system. Go ahead.
I just feel like this whole situation was like totally uncool and unfair when it came to him. It ain't got nothing to do with black, white, gray, pink, none of it. I just feel like I really think, and this is gonna sound crazy, and I ain't saying this for no hot takes or nothing like this for no clicks or views.
Keep
but
PC.
the chickens are gonna come home to roost for us because that the whole situation with him, it was totally wrong. Like everybody else, like the situation with Fitzgerald when he stunk up the joint for about a good 3 or 4 or 5 games straight. Really, his whole duration at Mississippi State, KT wasn't. Then when the whole situation came last year with Thomas Stevens when he got hurt, Garrett Schrader was playing like poo. Like why didn't you all give him the opportunity to get out there and show what he has to do? Like this guy wasn't the Louisiana State Player of the Year and a 4 or 5 star recruit for nothing. Like he could have easily went to LSU, Miami, and other big programs that he was recruited by. They just weren't recruiting pansies. So this is going to, like, if that man goes somewhere this year, which is going to happen, he's going to go play at some D1 school, not a SWAC school or nothing like that. He's going to a D1
what school is D1, homie?
Well,
watch your mouth.
But nothing wrong with the SWAC. Let me put that out there. There's nothing wrong with the SWAC, but at the same time, with his talent, it wouldn't make. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. It really wouldn't matter if he went to the SWAC. But I know if he goes there and ball out, people gonna. That's within our podcast group. Wink, wink. We ain't gonna say no names. Gonna get out here and put it like, okay, that's talent as underneath talent with it. That so I don't really believe that. I believe you can go ball out in the SWAC, you can ball out in D1, the SEC, and anywhere else in D1. But I really feel like he's gonna go out and go ball out, and people gonna be like, well, dang, where was this guy at when he was here at State? But don't say that because they never gave him a chance to play. So with that being said, I just feel like I hope nothing happens, but this is going to come back to bite us in the ass. My personal opinion.
I tend to disagree with that, but Derek, how do you feel about KT finally transferring?
You know what? Because I'm definitely agreeing with you. I definitely disagree with Ricardo. Kind of take offense to some of the things you said. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever people think of D1, HBCUs are Division I schools, which is FCS. Now, there has been a history of Mississippi State quarterbacks transferring to HBCUs, namely my alma mater, Mississippi Valley State University, at Reese Nelson, and he had a pretty good career at Valley. Now, do I feel that KT is going to go to an HBCU? If he went to an HBCU, it will probably be Grambling. But Grambling is loaded at quarterback right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see him going there. Southern, they're pretty steep at quarterback right now. They got a guy who's coming back. He's a junior. The offense is tailor-made for him. So I think KT, he's a grad transfer. So if he's going to go FBS. And I don't know where he's going to go. If he wants to go home, he has plenty of options in the state of Louisiana if he wants to come home to play, be it FBS or FCS. So we're going to sit back and watch. I do feel like as soon as Joe Moorhead got fired, KT should have been gone. I understand he stuck it out to wait to see who the head coach is going to be. But whenever KJ Costello committed, he should have been gone in. What you sitting around waiting for? Even if you go through spring practice, even if he came out of spring practice as number 1 quarterback, KJ Costello, he going to compete with him. So it still wasn't going to be your job. So he should have been gone when KJ Costello committed. So he could already know what he going to be. Even though no school there to do spring practice, he would know where he's going to be, get familiarized with that coaching staff, his teammates, the playbook, because you already know they give you the playbook when you determine where you're going. You get the playbook. So I'm sad to see him go. I do agree with Ricardo. We did not get a chance to see what he could do because the young man was very talented. And that happens in major college football. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying? With Ohio State, couldn't get on the field. Get to LSU, Heisman Trophy winner. Now, I'm not saying KT going to be a Joe Burrow, but he has the ability to play quarterback in the FBS ranks.
All right, Gabe.
I still don't understand why KT wasn't gone this time last year. Because when Joe Moorhead came in, and when the kid transferred from Penn State, it was over for KT.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, what were you watching? Like, what were you paying attention to that you thought you would have a shot to see the field when this kid transferred from Penn State, where Joe Moorhead was his offensive coordinator, for the specific purpose of coming to play in his system? But what's even more peculiar to me than that, what was that hat that Keytaon was wearing all year? He was wearing like a blue cap or a yellow cap. What does that mean? Does that mean I haven't transferred, but I need to? Is that the cap that he was wearing? Because I was like, is he injured? What is that cap? What does the yellow cap mean? Or whatever
on top of his
color.
helmet? Talking about on top of his helmet?
Yeah, he was wearing like a green hat or something like that all season. And I'm like, is he transferring? Is he not transferring? I don't know. It was weird. But if that cost him another year of eligibility, that's just I don't understand.
It didn't, because he redshirted. He redshirted.
Okay.
He gonna have 2 years left.
Okay, well, good. Why didn't he leave last spring? I don't understand.
I mean, he may have wanted to graduate from Mississippi State. If he was that close to graduating, that may be a reason why he stayed. Because here's the thing. What bothers me the most is, as we struggle at quarterback, why not give KT a shot? The same crap that happened when Nick Fitzgerald was struggling the year before last. Why not give KT a shot? I mean, I just don't feel like Moorhead had any confidence in KT to run his system. And sometimes coaches make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You may feel like a kid can't run your system. He can't be successful in your system. But you got to put him in the fire. You know, you had 2 quarterbacks, one injury prone, one young, and you had this one guy there who's had success. You know what I'm saying? A coach puts a player in a position to where they can be successful. You run things for that player that suits him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like to me that, you know, Moorhead had a little Dan Mullen in him when it came to quarterback play. You know, putting a quarterback in a position where, you know, he's not talented enough. And we know Dan Mullen did that, but Joe Moorhead was unwilling to put KT in that position, you know what I'm saying, as far as, hey, I'm going to run my system. I don't think you can run my system. And he was unwilling to put KT in a position where he could run things that was comfortable for him. I mean, as we struggled, the young man could have helped. He could have done something. If he was helping to run routes, he was helping to take a snap from quarterback.
I think he's the best quarterback we've ever had that never saw the field.
I respect that statement.
Never saw the field. When we had Fitz, KT would play 3 plays a game. How can you know what a kid can do playing 3-4 Wildcat plays a game?
I'll say this in regard to the KT thing. And I guess it's almost like in some ways I'm almost glad because we finally could put it to bed, even though I kind of agree with your statement. He may be the most talented quarterback that we never got a chance to see the field, especially considering when as a 4-star quarterback come to Mississippi State and not just play, but started.
He got 2. Jaden Maiden was the 4-star too.
Yeah. Oh, he gone too?
I doubt it.
He ain't gone yet, but he ain't
gone. In a sense.
I think
in any sense he'd be gone.
Well, based off based off what I'm hearing though or what you see is, I know, like I think I was looking on one of the message board posts of one of the guys, whether Steve or Paul, they posted when a fan asked about, you know, who's going to be the number 2 or how the totem pole is going to line up after KJ Costello. And they were stating that it was going to either be Jalen Maiden or Schrader, and Schrader's probably going to redshirt. So I think even though it's early on, even when Leach first came, I think, and this, I'm going to get back to KT, but Jalen Maiden fits that system. He's highly accurate. He don't care about the size of the quarterback. Got a decent arm. I think he's a good fit. I think this change helps Jalen Maiden. I think he got burned on Moorhead because of the whole Tutorgate. Everybody keeps skipping over that. I think that had a lot to do with why he wasn't higher on the totem pole. Now back to KT. He is probably the most talented guy that we ever had that didn't see the field in significant playing time. I feel like he had some moments. I do feel like he didn't take the reins like he wanted to. But also with KT, I wonder what type of advice he's been getting. Because really after Mullen left, he probably should have left. And then after he, had a solid bowl game, okay bowl game, and then you come into the next year and then truth be told, I felt like that year the team looked the most explosive in that first game. They looked the most explosive in that first game with KT. And the fact that he never got a shot, to supplant Fitzgerald, even though we were struggling the way that we were, I kind of wonder about that. The fact that you keep sticking it out when it's obvious you're not going to get a shot. Like, I just wonder about the advice he was getting. He really should have just left out the last season and let the chips fall where they may. Redshirted the next year, so on and so forth. So I'm kind of just glad this is over with. And maybe I'll keep up with the kid, and I want to see what he does going forward. Now, if he ends up not being that good of a player, kind of similar to Elijah Staley, all right, cool. I see what the coach was saying.
Oh, my God.
But if he goes somewhere, hey.
Elijah Staley. He's better than Elijah Staley.
And I'm a Elijah Staley fan, man, but, boy, he did not do well at Morgan State. Then he went somewhere else and ended up playing. Yeah.
He left Morgan State.
Don't put that curse on KT.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I'm still on this solid word. I'm still on this solid bowl game. You really underplaying him, bro. He outplayed a Heisman Trophy winner, man.
That is so overstated.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
The same Lamar Jackson that led his team to the playoff this year pretty much won MVP last year.
I think
I played him in a bowl game.
You forget he played against
Louisville. That's college. It's pro, man.
You forget this is
I am behooved.
You keep saying he was kind of not that accurate, and he got to play against Louisville defense led by that defensive coordinator who we will not name, who was our coordinator.
Well,
Lamar Jackson
against receivers to catch the ball. Who thought that was?
But you forget Lamar.
He had a better running game than passing game against Louisville.
Lamar Jackson went against
ran for 3 touchdowns, right?
You forget that Lamar Jackson went against our defense. The number one, the top. You think for 2 years in a row, our defense is considered one of the top 5 defenses in America. Number 1 that next year. So he was facing one of the best. We made Tua Tagovailoa, who's projected potentially.
What is this guy doing?
A top 3
Get off your video, bro.
Are you exercise, bro? You doing P90X? What's going on there?
Now he want to get his ass off video.
Grab your bite.
Man, you said Elijah Staley, and my whole screen went blank.
My whole movie just changed. Like,
and I'm a Elijah Staley fan, man. But
that was mad disrespectful.
Elijah Staley is gonna have an episode of Unsung.
Is it?
Come on, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I followed him when he went to Mississippi State. When he went to Morgan State, I was like, yeah, he gonna light it up. Man, he ain't nothing up at Morgan State. Like, and if he hears this,
who's
man,
the guy that played baseball and football too, man?
For us?
Yeah, remember he was on the football team and he played baseball.
Oh, he was a quarterback?
It was a few years back. I want to say they ran around the time Mullen was there. Like it was a couple years before he left, and he transferred too.
Oh, you talking about Tiano? He didn't play baseball. Now he went to.
I like Tiano.
UT Chattanooga, and he did all right. He did all right at UT Chattanooga.
Yeah, because then they go to a bowl game or something.
He was all right.
Well, UT Chattanooga's FCS.
I thought they went to.
Man, Elijah Staley
just
played.
Just sip on your Route 44 drink, homie.
Hey,
all right. We're kind of going off into some tangents now, so let's kind of go and just move forward. Let's hope that this KT thing is put to bed. I hope we don't have to have a conversation of 6 months from now where KT is lit it up. And I think he should end up at HBCU. I think that just makes sense. Go somewhere where you're gonna play. Just get on the field. Like, don't go nowhere where you got to battle out nobody or do none of that mess. Go somewhere you're going to got an ironclad chance to play.
Throw a name out there, Jeremiah?
Yeah. The Raging Cajuns.
No. I'm going to go to an HBCU. That don't mean he going to win. If he go to U of L, he is not going to start. The quarterback there is a 2-year starter, and he is entrenched as a starter. He is not going to put that man on the bench.
More to the point.
Go to Louisiana.
I'm going to throw a dark horse out there, guys. And don't be surprised if this happens. Don't surprised to see that man at LSU, man.
No.
No.
I knew he was about to come with some
let's
food.
No.
Let's move on.
No.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. On that note, we got to move on. I agree with you on that. Most definitely.
Let's move on. That ain't gonna happen. All right, Leach or Kiffin? I know we're Bulldogs. A radio host or a guy podcast, he posted a topic about which guy would dominate the state of Mississippi. He had some valid points on both sides. So I'm going to post it, and I thought it'd be a good topic for us to discuss. Even though, we're Bulldogs and we want to say it's going to be Leach because Leach is this, and this. Like, just get some honest perspective. Do you think it'll be Leach or Kiffin that's going to dominate the state of Mississippi for the next, at least 3 years? I've said that I don't know if Leach act may wear thin, but who do you think is going to dominate the state of Mississippi? I'm going to go to Gabe first.
You mean in terms of head-to-head, us versus Ole Miss, or what?
Just in a general sense, who's going to dominate the state? I mean, I think this is more of a general question. Who's going to end up being like the coach in Mississippi? I think for the time when Dan Mullen was at Mississippi State, it was our state. I do feel like people looked at him as the coach in Mississippi. Even though we had Hugh Freeze, made a little noise. Obviously, it ended up unfortunate, a very unfortunate situation that happened with him. But who do you think is going to and why?
Leach is going to dominate the state in a good way and a bad way.
Okay.
He's gonna beat Lane Kiffin head to head like a rag doll. I don't doubt that at all. And he's probably gonna out recruit him in certain instances. But he's also gonna continue to put his foot in his mouth, and to the point that people are gonna be pissed at him constantly. So if he don't win, it's gonna be a hell of a problem. Because at this point, I'm still a Mississippi State fan, but not a Leach fan. I'm just gonna have to cheer for the team to win. Go Dogs, and I don't know who is coaching you, but go Dogs. But yeah, I mean, Lane Kiffin has not done jack as a head coach. Just be honest. He's popular name-wise. He's had some high-profile jobs, but he hasn't done jack. He hasn't done jack as a head coach. Leach has proven he's gonna beat Kiffin like a rag doll, head to head. And so, yeah, Leach. And then he's going to say something stupid and piss everybody off. And I think it's just going to be that way until he eventually, leaves or retires or whatever is next.
He's a little up there in age. All right, Derek, how do you think it's going to turn out for both of those coaches?
Well, from his own mouth, Coach Leach told me he is not getting back on Twitter for a while.
Don't press in. Don't press in.
That's what he told me. But, Coach Leach's mouth does get him in trouble, but he always has won. Now, I'm going to have to debate you on Lane Kiffin. While I'm not a fan of Lane Kiffin, the man has a 61-34 overall record in college. Yes, he, bombed out at Tennessee. He was doing well at USC, but he built Florida Atlantic into a respectable program in the group of five.
Florida Atlantic.
So, yeah,
from
Florida
USC
Atlantic. I said
Florida
group of five. As far as recruiting, Ole Miss has been cleaning up. They have signed their second 4-star wide receiver this month. I'm not signed, committed. We have a no-star defender committed for this month. So if you look at right now, this month, Ole Miss is winning, as far as the recruitment battles. But I'm a Bulldog fan. I will never pick Ole Miss over Mississippi State. I don't give a darn if we're 0-11 and they're 11-0. I'm picking our Bulldogs to win that game. I want Lane Kiffin to fall on his face. So
what though?
What's that?
The first thing Leach did when he got here was load up on quarterback.
He did.
We ain't
got no wideouts.
40 years. Mississippi State, where is our quarterback?
We ain't got wideouts though.
I've been saying that. Dude, if you got a quarterback, wideouts will follow. If you got a quarterback, you got a shot. No quarterback, no shot.
Well, you will look.
It's that simple.
You will look at our most successful time when it comes to throwing the ball in the the only time we really successful throwing the ball was during Dak Prescott's last 2 years. And, more that his junior year was kind of true dual threat. But then that last year he threw the ball a lot. We had De'Runyon Wilson. We had Fred Ross. We had, what's the other kid that went? Fred Brown. So we had 3 solid guys, and I think Joe Morrow was in that group. So we had a solid Jamion Lewis. That was a pretty good group, you know.
And I guarantee you our receivers aren't as bad as they've appeared to be these last few years.
I'm going back to
quarterback. No quarterback. So. Watch.
I think that's played a part. I think last year the inconsistency at the position kind of, because I mean Javonte Payton can play. Stephen Guidry is Stephen Guidry. I don't think that had anything to do with quarterbacks. He doesn't know how to run a route tree because he got caught the ball in the same 3 routes. It was either going to be like a quick little fade, it was going to be a crossing route, or it's going to be a post. Well, not even a post route because he didn't even run those that strong. So or some type of quick little screen or something like that. But he didn't really do that well when he didn't know how to run a route tree. It was up to him. He didn't get open. But I mean, for the Lions, I think I got like Osiris Mitchell and getting to Coach Leach, but I'll say my opinion. Ricardo, who do you think is going to dominate the state of Mississippi? Leach or Kiffin?
If we had to say head to head, I'm hoping that Leach does it. But I'm weak man.
What was that?
Man, based off of, you know what I'm saying,
going in and out.
Yeah, I'm going. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
yes.
We got you.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go by mathematics, man. I don't know who just brought it. I think Derek did, but that record, you know what I'm saying, that win-loss, you know, speaks for itself. And then, even though I know this is a rival of ours, but I pay attention to what he did, you know, at Florida Atlantic. And then I pay attention to what he did as a coordinator at Alabama. I know Alabama's Alabama. But when he was a coordinator over there, he had Jalen Hurts and Tua looking like pro-style quarterback, even though Jalen Hurts was more of a dual threat. Both of those guys were dual threat. And I think long-term, just from speaking, I know you guys may disagree with this, but I think it may be Leach. I don't know, man, because with this situation, they were really calling for his head to roll. And I think Leach would be probably the more long-term bet because soon as Kiffin have a good season at Ole Miss, he gone.
Where he gonna go?
Somewhere.
He'll find somewhere to go.
You think he'll go back? You think back to USC? Back to USC?
Know. But that's been his stick. That's been his stick,
here's
though.
The thing. No,
look at what he did in Tennessee, bro.
No. You gotta realize right now he's coaching in the highest, best conference in college football.
At Ole Miss, man.
Well, he's still in the SEC. Ohio State's not gonna hire him if Day leaves. USC's not gonna take a chance on him again. What? Chip Kelly gets fired, he gonna go to UCLA? You know.
Depends on how well he does at Ole Miss. I think a lot of that hinges on how well he does it at Ole Miss. And I agree with Ricardo in the sense of I can see Kiffin leaving after a couple of years if he experiences some success. But I don't think it's going to be as immediate as people think. And kind of speaking to this question, I think Leach will do better. I don't look at it, he's going to dominate the state. I just think Leach has better pieces to do something. Leach has never been known for his defense, but our defense is already good. It's been good the last couple of years. And
exactly.
Then you look offensively, you have KJ Costello. Leach has done the right things to get himself out to the right start. He's kind of brought in some Mississippi guys. He's played ball a little bit, and he's brought in some of his staff, kept some other people. And I know it's another guy that might be coming soon to be part of the staff that has kind of been talked about. So I know for a fact. So you got KJ Costello. You got the kid from Vanderbilt. You got Jalen Maiden. I think Schrader will eventually move positions. You got Will Rogers. So you got like a good court, and you got 2 quarterbacks committed. He's reset his quarterback room. You got really good running back.
Going wide out.
He won't be
back home to Charlotte.
He won't be starting that quarterback for us. You got 4 good running backs. This one I didn't finish my thought. I don't mean to be like that, but it has 4 really good running backs. Even I was looking at a video earlier of Dylan Johnson. I was very encouraged by that. I'm like, he's really motivated. He's not even one of the guys. People talk more about Marks than him. So I want to see how he utilizes those running back. He's traditionally, he used them more out the backfield, not as runners. But I think with what we got, he might have to switch his approach up a little bit. And it might honestly make his transition a little easier because we don't have the receivers yet to truly run his system to the level he probably wants it to be with it. But we got really good running backs. So I want to see if he adjusts. Now, he's able to adjust and just run the ball a little more, still be air raid, but a little less air raid. Maybe throw 40 times a game instead of 50 and 60. I think we might be ready to do something. I think he'll get off to a better start. So I think right now you got to look at our defense line. Even though we lost Fabian Lovett, you got to look. We have 3 sophomores at the D tackle position. We got some other guys that are very young freshmen at that linebacker. And like we got a lot of young talent on the defensive side of the football that played last year. So he's going to have a young defense that's very talented. He has some pieces on offense to work with. I think Javonte Payton is going to be the breakout star on offensive side of the football. He has some pieces, so he's going to get out to a better start, and it's going to enable him to dominate the state of Mississippi. And I think Kiffin, if he gets any type of spark at Ole Miss, he's, as Ricardo said, he's gone.
So we need to be the air run instead of the air raid.
Not air run, it's just maybe running a little bit more. You got Calvin Hill, you got Lee Weatherspoon, you got
don't say his name. Okay, good.
Jaquavius March. You got Dylan Johnson. So, and then you got Kareem Walker. I mean, I don't know how you.
Why did you do it? No, don't say his name.
Only 2 of those guys will touch the football. Only Colin Hill and what's the number 22?
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon.
Only those 2 will touch the ball this year. Too many passes.
Yeah.
They throw it too much.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to play them, but if some of them young bucks come in ready to ball, I wouldn't mind just going. I don't believe in red shirt running backs anyway, but that's like a philosophy of mine. But I don't see the point in it unless they hurt. But that's beside the point. That's just a personal philosophy.
I just want to see what type of food he gonna cook with these groceries, man. Because this the best food he done ever had.
I agree with that. I think that's what.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think that's why he came to Mississippi State. I think he saw it was a good. He probably looked at the roster. He probably realized he had to get the quarterback situation more to his liking. But at the same time, there's talent there. You already got running backs, even though people think he don't care about that. But he knows he's in the SEC. We got some pieces at receiver. You got Osiris Mitchell, who I think will benefit greatly from that. You got guys like Quentin Torbord, because I approve from Knoxville. You got some guys that maybe in Moorhead and Mullen's system, they weren't stars, but for what Leach does, and we got some really good tight ends he might find a way to utilize. There's some pieces to work with. Now I'm surprised he don't move Jaron Jones to offense, but that's aside the point. And then we got Malik Heath. That's a guy nobody's talking about, but he might end up being a guy that could, break out next year as his first year on campus.
What about Caleb Ducking? The wide out from Kahoma.
I don't know about him. I don't know about that. We'll see. All right, so guys, let's get to one of the topics we really want to talk about: our Bulldogs in the draft. So right now, no Bulldogs are currently projected to go in the first round, even though probably Willie Gay's a first round talent, one of the few Starkville players who actually shows up.
Wow.
showed up at the college level. All right, so right now projected. I was looking
the whole show.
We were just looking at
sidebar.
I was just looking at Mel Kiper's top 100, and there's 5 Bulldogs in it. You have Willie Gay, Tyree Phillips, who I just seem to forget on the show template in our show outline. Tyree Phillips, you got Willie Gay, you got Darrell Williams, you got who's the other guys? Cam Dantzler and Chauncey Rivers projected to potentially get late, maybe 7th round. So just talk about some of the Bulldogs in the draft. And then we'll get to maybe some guys that may be undrafted if they don't get drafted. All right, so I'm gonna go to Gabe first. Talk about some of those Bulldogs in the draft and how Willie Gay made Starkville how proud for actually being one of those players who did something in college.
First and foremost, sir,
get him.
Starkville players are absolutely balling out. AJ Brown could very well have been the rookie of the year this year. Very well. No, right. Nobody would have blinked an eye if he had been rookie of the year. But what y'all don't understand is about Starkville is after 35 years of domination, we are just now starting to produce NFL caliber talent. That's what y'all don't see coming.
That's scary, man.
I'm telling you, mark my words. After all these years of quote unquote dominating, now we're producing this 4- and 5-star talent that's about to start going to the league.
I'm still stuck on the 35 years of domination part. When did all this happen?
Well, 6 state championships.
He ain't lying, man. Starville always been a mainstay. When the last time they were trash?
We have 6 gold balls in football. And 5
when did that happen? Those 6 championships.
It's been happening over the last 35 years. When they started the tournament. No, they started the tournament in 82, 83.
Hey,
we were the first team in it. We played
so tell me, how many have they won since 2005?
One, if I'm not mistaken.
So basically, y'all.
But dude, that's 5 years, and we've still won one in the last 5. But ask me how many times have we been?
Should have had another one last couple of years.
Hey, Gabe, I'm gonna let me cut in right quick. I'm gonna say this, Jeremiah. If it, and this is not no slack and no diss at Starville, because I'm from College Cisco. We ain't but an hour or so down the road from them. If it weren't for South Panola, bro, they would be it.
Oh,
right.
Well, but you can't.
South Panola just, they went on an
Meridian dethroned them, so, I mean, Starkville should have beat them like Meridian did. Meridian did.
That's like a one-time scenario.
Don't matter. But all those years of domination of South Panola, how many guys produced in the league? 1, 2.
Yeah. People say the same for Starkville,
but that's what I'm telling you. Watch with AJ Brown. Now watch what Willie Gay does. Watch Kobe Brown's going to the league as well.
Kobe Jones,
I mean. And we've got many more coming up behind them right now as we speak. Watching the next 5 years what we do in the NFL, you're gonna be blown away.
Right, who would you like to see? Who would you like to see draft Willie Gay? What do you think is the best fit for him?
A team that can put up with a little bit of knuckleheadness. Let's say like a
New England.
Ooh, the Patriots.
Nah, Patriots ain't gonna put up no knucklehead. He got to get right if you go to Belichick.
He's versatile though.
Kansas City.
Yeah, he can ball.
With his Bulldog brothers. I like that, Ricardo. I agree with you.
There you go.
That'll be a perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
With all them Bulldogs, all the maroon and red and white. There we go.
You know what would be a great scheme for him? I'm going to give everybody this. I think a scheme like a Tampa 2 scheme. He could be a Tampa 2 guy because he kind of gives you that versatility. He can get out of coverage. He's aggressive. I mean, most times the linebackers in those schemes are more coverage guys, but one, he can fit in any system, so any team can draft him. But him playing for a team that really can – because I think he could play all 3 – well, he's probably more of a Will and a Mike, but I think he could play multiple positions at the pro level. So I think any team would be glad to have him. But it does have to be a team with maybe a veteran. He can go sit behind the guy for a year and then learn. All right, so Ricardo, talk about some of our Bulldogs in the draft, man. What do you see some of those guys playing out and being in the league?
Well, like I said, we were just talking about Willie Gay. I would love to see him in Kansas City because they got like a nice little young nucleus over there, and they're real hybrid and athletic. So that'll be a good spot for him.
If Kansas City got their hands on him, that'll be crazy.
Yeah, that'll be dope. Too. Like, yeah, even though I'm still peeved about this whole Super Bowl deal.
You can join us. We'll take you on the bandwagon, Ricardo.
No. I like them. You know, they cool.
Kansas City has a bandwagon, but keep going, Ricardo.
Yeah, but you know, yeah. But yeah. Let me see. Ain't Dancer in there too?
Yep.
I think he probably the sleep out of everybody. Honestly.
For sure.
That's the sleep out of everybody. Because I think that fella gonna be better than people give him credit for. Because he kind of remind me of Slay.
Man, boy, you took it right out of my mouth.
I wouldn't say that.
Right out of my mouth.
He remind me of Slay, like, because a lot of people was on, and I know my boy, if he listens, he gonna get me, man. But I always thought that Darius Slay was a better corner than Jonathan Baines, man.
Of course.
He was just it's more his athleticism transferred to the league.
Man,
I can't understand you, bro.
Yeah, he was tall.
T. Ricardo.
He was taller. That. Yeah, but
I called you T. Ricardo.
Yeah, we don't know what you just said. We don't know.
All right, so let me go to one of the other guys real quick till you get in a better reception area. So Derek.
He on auto tune.
Hey, man.
Well, okay. Well, of course, y'all know I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Y'all know I did my mock draft. I picked Willie Gay in the first round for my Chiefs. Got back around, I picked Cam in the second round. So I was happy. I would love to see that happen. But I think Willie Gay he's the bona fide second round pick. And when you look at Cam Downswell, who had a disappointing 40 time at the combine, I think like a 4.6 40. He ran it again at 4.3, so he improved by leaps and bounds. So that's going to, boost his draft stock as well. Now, Tyree Phillips is a very versatile offensive lineman. He can play guard, he can play center, he can play tackle. I mean, I want to be greedy. We can take out the Bulldogs in Kansas City. We need an offensive lineman. We need them all. But I think Chauncey Rivers, Chauncey may end up being a free agent signing. Who am I forgetting?
We have two other guys. I'm trying to think.
Darrell Williams. Darrell Williams. They were talking about for last year. Darrell Williams could have been almost a first-round draft pick, but injuries have hurt his draft stock. But I definitely think all these guys have a chance to get drafted or help a team. Now, when you look at the undrafted free agents, of course, our quarterback, Tommy Stevens, some people feel he may get drafted simply because they look at him as – what's that quarterback in New Orleans?
Taysom Hill. He actually has a live arm, though.
Taysom Hill. The man ran a 4.40. So, I mean, he has that athleticism. And then you look at Landrews and Cole as safeties. They could help a squad on special teams. But I really want to see who gets Cam, Tyree, and Willie Gay. Those are our highest rated prospects. If Willie Gay does not get suspended for those 4 games and plays the whole season, he's a bona fide first-round draft pick because look at his combine. He's right behind Isaiah, the linebacker out of Clemson, in all the drills.
Well, I think the thing that made Willie Gay such a good player is that I remember a term a couple of years ago Mark Charette had. He said that he's a football playing Jesse. Well, Willie Gay just a football player. Like, I was looking at his highlight, Willie Gay can play some football. Like, there's no other way. There's no other way to put it. He can play some football.
Did you watch him play in high school? You seen his highlights in high school?
I never watched any too much.
You realize he put that offense on his back.
I think the thing you should look at it. I don't watch him in the field and think he's like a true high IQ guy. There's no disrespect to him, anything like that. I'm not saying he don't have that. When I watch him, he's highly instinctual. In pass coverage, he knows the right thing to do. He's a great pass rusher. It's very rare to see a linebacker that can be great in pass coverage and is great at pass rushing. He can play. He's pretty sound in the running game. He's aggressive. He's actually got to be a great special teams player that first year. Can run, has the physicality, the size, everything. He's really, in my opinion, a top 10 talent. But obviously off the field concerns. So if you were to draft him in the second round, you're getting a top 10 talent in the second round. So I can see a lot of teams. I wouldn't be shocked if he's drafted in the first round in some ways because he's a guy that's a steal or in the high.
If a team is smart enough just to look at film and knows how to evaluate real talent, he will go in the first round.
There's no way. Like, he's a first round talent. That's not saying that because I like Mississippi State or anything like that, but I'm just evaluating just what true weaknesses do he have? Like, I don't think he's a high IQ guy. Like I said, in that way, when you watch him play, if I was watching tape, I wouldn't say, hey, he's a guy I'm watching. He knows the game. You never hear him talk about it in that way.
He's still raw too.
Yeah, he really hadn't played that much. He only started a couple games at the college level. But if you give him a really good middle linebacker and somebody that kind of can mentor him, maybe Bernard McKinney, maybe put him on a team with one of his former teammates like Jeffrey Simmons. I don't know. But, put him on a team like that with a guy that's going to kind of keep him, in check. Here's a team I think he's perfect for with their move to Las Vegas. The Raiders. He is a classic Raider.
No.
Raider.
Yeah, because he's going to get thrown out of at least one game.
He's a Raider.
You want to team him and Abrams up? No.
But you got to think about it. That's what everybody said about Abrams last year. They're Raiders. He's the perfect Raider. He's either a Raider.
If Al Davis was still alive, Al Davis would draft him in the first round. Al Davis would draft him in the first round.
Could you imagine him and Jonathan Abram being on the same team again?
But it'll just
I don't
be my
want to have
worst
to imagine
nightmare.
it because that's going against my Chiefs offense. No.
It's in the back of my mind. It would be my worst nightmare. Willie Gay turning to Vontaze Burfict. I'm just praying to the football gods because the boy has a volatile attitude.
For sure.
He heats up and it's on. It's on.
When he get crunk, get out the way.
So I guess, and it's kind of speaking to some of the rest of the guys, or mainly like Cam Dantzler. Cam Dantzler, even though he ran 4.3, he don't play 4.3. Not in a negative sense like he can't play, but he doesn't play 4.3. I never watched him on the field. I'm like, man, that dude can run. He's not like that type of guy, but he's the prototype. He's Jonathan Banks but faster. He has the hips. Like Banks didn't have the hips or the feet. There's a lot of it wasn't just his raw speed. It was like other stuff too. Like Cam has all of that. Like nobody threw to his side. Cam is your prototype new age corner. 6'2", lean and run.
Absolutely.
He's a guy, he is a second round pick, at least second round. Like I said, he would be first round if people felt he played 4.3, but can't, because you got to think if he was really that fast, why doesn't he return kicks? Why doesn't he return punts? Why doesn't he do those things?
I don't want to get hurt.
But I'm saying most time guys that are those type of athletes, they normally return kicks and punts and stuff. He's not that caliber athlete. And really, Slade should have did it at State, but that's a whole different story.
Slade didn't have to return kicks and punts. Look at him now.
It's a certain athleticism. Marlon Humphrey, Bradley Roby. Those are the guys that I see Cam Dantzler is almost the same guy. Super fast, about 6'2", just athletic. All they want you to do in the NFL is keep up with the receiver and knock the ball away. You don't see who were we just talking about that went to Tampa Bay? He was a cover corner. In college, he could, lock down most college level Jonathan Banks. But in the league, you got thoroughbreds running past you, son. You don't have time to cover. You just better be able to stay in the way long enough and be tall and have arms to knock the ball away. Because some of these guys, man, you can't cover them. You just got to be able to just defend them enough to make the quarterback think they covered or knock the ball away.
I think Banks' biggest issue is that he really was a safety, but he didn't have the frame. He didn't have the frame.
Words out of my mouth.
He didn't have the frame to bulk up because he was a smart kid, played smart, but he just wasn't big enough. Like if you look at his frame, he had tiny legs, just a natural small frame. He was never going to get any bigger than 190, and he didn't really hit nobody like that. So I think he just kind of got caught in between. He was a victim of his frame. I hate to put it that way. He wasn't a fast, slow guy, but he wasn't fast either. And in the league, you 6'2", you're not that big as a 6'2" corner. You're not gonna be impressed at physicality like a Richard Sherman. So he ended up he just didn't pan out. He was a tweener. And it's sad, but I don't think that's gonna be Cam Dantzler's fate. I think he does have the hips, the feet, and all those things to be able to make it at the next level. I think the sleeper name out of our undrafted guys will probably be Brian Cole. Brian Cole, he's a guy that probably should have got drafted. I think what messed him up, he don't have that body of work. So he was killing it his junior year. He had a great. He was ready to probably go pro after that year, I felt. And I think he's a guy. I think he can cover reasonably well. He's a classic rover. That's what he is at the NFL level. A nickel guy or a classic rover, a guy you let just kind of move around. And I think if a team can find a way to use him in that way, I don't think he's just going to be a special teams guy. I can see him getting out there in a camp. Like J.T. Gray is able to make a team. I think Brian Cole is a better player than him, at least more having the ability to be on the field, not just special teams. So I think he's a guy. So I can see us having several guys that make a roster. Stephen Guidry, if you can get him to get focused, the tools are there. Tommy Stevens, I think he'll
tight end.
What tight end? Oh, yeah, Farrah Green. I like him.
No, he's talking about Tommy Stevens, a tight end.
Tommy Stevens going to be a tight end.
I don't think he's physical enough. I think he'll be like Taysom Hill. He's a third quarterback. I think he's a classic third quarterback, camp guy, or like a guy that's a scout team quarterback because he has
another Fitzgerald.
No, because he throws the ball. He throws the ball better.
Fitz is just bad all around. Stevens is going to sit on somebody's bench for 12 years and make about $30 million.
Hey, everybody talk about that.
never
What's the kid?
I will take that.
What's the kid from Missouri? From a couple. No. I'm talking about just like longer than that.
I know who you talking about. The backup to Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Blaine Gabbert.
Not Blaine Gabbert. No. The other one. The little shorter quarterback.
Chase Daniel?
Chase Daniel. He's been in the league 10 years. And you don't even know it. Like, he don't start. He don't do nothing. He just sit in there, hold a clipboard, participate in quarterback meetings. Make $20, 30 million.
Keep anybody from having a job.
Bored. I'm bored. What have I made so far? 22 million? Oh,
I'm good.
And I ain't had to take not one sack.
I ain't got to worry about Skip talking about me on Monday. I ain't got to worry about nothing. All I got to worry about is I'm going to keep getting them checks, as Jalen Rose likes to say. That's all you got to worry about.
Quarterback in front of me, don't get hurt.
Now, but the thing about Stevens, I mean, a lot of people keep trying to discount. He does have a live arm. Now, I think his ability to stay healthy and I don't think it's a decision-making thing. He ain't got that type of thing going on. He has the talent. So he's a guy for 2 to 3 years, you can use him as a utility guy. Then what if, he develops and becomes a quarterback that you can use? You got preseason, you got all those things. Then what if to say the XFL was to come back if he don't pan out? He could be a guy that could be in that league for 2 years or something like that. But I don't even know if the XFL will come back now that they filed for bankruptcy and all that good stuff. But anyway, I think we have a really solid group, and it looks good on us that we have all those guys getting drafted. I wish we had some first-rounders like last year, but that looks good, and Leach can build off of that, kind of going back to the Lane Kiffin Leach thing. He has some talents that he can say, hey, we got these guys drafted. So I think that's really a good look. Now, for what everybody came for this episode, let's get so Derek, if you can cue up that document, we want to talk about our all-time top 3 versus each other. Although Jamont Gordon thought that we should have put Charles Rose on this list, even though I disagree. But anyway.
I agree.
I'm coming with it. Give me a second. Hurry up. All right, can y'all see it?
Oh, so we're gonna go team by team. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So who's gonna volunteer to go for gonna be on Moultrie, Malone, Johnson versus Bullard, Perry, and Woodard?
Bullard, Perry. Ooh, man, I'm taking that Jeff Malone team.
Well,
Jeff Malone.
Let's wait.
Jeff Malone was tough, man.
Let's wait, man. Let's hold them arguments, man. Let's hold them arguments. Where you at, Derek? Okay. All right. So I guess while Derek is getting some things together, so we'll put on the opposing side of the argument. So it don't matter if any of us believe in one side or the other, but it does help. So, Gabe, I'll let you take that left side with Moultrie, Malone, and Johnson. And let's say I'll take the Bullard, Perry, Woodard team and why they would win. All right, so, Gabe, give me your perspective, not your perspective, your reasons why the Moultrie, Malone, and Johnson team will win.
Because as a little kid, I went to see Jeff Malone play. He's probably the second or third, arguably the second best player we've ever had at Mississippi State. And he would just shoot them cats out of the gym. Jeff Malone had no range. And that was before there was a three-point line. He had no range. He would pull up from anywhere.
Pull up from 30, as Stephen A. Smith would like to say.
Right. And the other two cats would just get his rebounds. That's all you would need. You couldn't stop him because cross half court, he's in range. Jeff would shoot you out of that. This other team, man, Bull can't score. And that's my frat brother. I love him to death. He wouldn't be a match for Jeff Malone. And Perry, I just don't see any punch on this team. I don't see any punch.
Not to be devil, obviously I'm on the opposing side. I don't remember Bullard as much. Wasn't he through like the net final, the Final 14?
He was on Final 14, yeah.
He was a point guard. He was a starting point guard.
I thought it was Darren Wilson.
Wilson was the two guard.
Wilson was the two guard, yeah.
Oh,
Bullard can shoot that three now.
So, but I look at this. So, Bullish your ball handler. You got Reggie Perry, And you got to go back to mental toughness and different things. I would personally take Reggie Perry or Arnett Moultrie. Moultrie didn't pan out in the league. You know, he was pretty good at Mississippi State for that 1 year. But I'll take Reggie Perry. I think Reggie Perry is a much better player. Obviously, Woodard's a much better player. Is a pretty good player. I think he's better than Rayburn Johnson. But I think the thing that turns the tide there, for one, the college game is a guard-oriented game. And you got to look. You're looking between. Then you break it down to Bullard and then an all-time great in Jeff Malone. So it's not really all about who's on the team. I would take the two bigs because Woodard is actually a perfect college player. But I think you would have to take Jeff Malone over a Marcus Bullard. So even though I'm going for the Bullard team as far as who I'm advocating for, it's hard for me. I would have to agree with Gabe. I think I would take the team led by Jeff Malone.
Well, oh man, I'm gonna roll with Moultrie, Malone, and Johnson because Moultrie was a power forward. He could hurt you with his on the inside and the outside. You know, he could also take you out the dribble. Rayburn Johnson is one of my favorite three-point shooters in Mississippi State history. And Jeff Malone, even though I never got a chance to see him play as a Bulldog, the man is one of the best players in Mississippi State history. I saw him play in the NBA. So that's one reason why I'm taking it. Now, this young squad here led by a wily veteran and Bullard. I mean, hey, Perry and Woodard are going to try to run and try to use their physicality to bully this team. But I just feel like that, you know, with Malone shooting and Johnson shooting and Moultrie clean up the boards, I think it's just going to be too much. So I'm rolling with Jeff Malone. Squad. Okay. Ricardo.
I don't know where Jeremiah went, but I didn't get a chance to see the other ones. Are those the only two that we had to pick
these
from?
are the only two we're doing right now. This is the first matchup for the first round.
Okay. Well, out of both of those, man, those were two pretty interesting brackets, man. But I'm probably had to roll with the one that Jeff Malone on. Okay. With that being said, that's a tough crew for one, and for two, he's probably the best NBA player to come out of state. You know what I'm saying? They play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know who's the best player to come to state before him.
That's another argument for Bailey Howell is going to get. Yeah, Bailey Howell's in the Hall of Fame. You know, he won like 35 rings with the Celtics. You'll be hard pressed to out argue Bailey Howell.
I got fussed at for leaving off Brown and Peck. So
I don't know who that is.
They're former first round draft picks of Mississippi State. You know, so I got my tongue lashing for some older Bulldogs that knew this history where I didn't. So I did see them on the list of first round draft picks, but since I didn't know them, and I knew Bailey Howell because you know the trophy is named after him. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And so that's why I added him. So
are these like pre-integration players?
Bailey Howell was
pretty much,
and not pretty much.
But these guys are from the '80s. But we had some other ones in the '60s that you know went to the league, but I didn't know anything about them, so I didn't add them.
Let's look. What about the post after we could vote team?
So are we all in agreement? Moultrie, Malone, and Johnson.
Yeah,
most definitely. Cause Rayburn Johnson, oh my God, like I don't understand how he didn't have the career in the league good as he was. That was probably like the best
all he could do was shoot. That's all he could do.
Streaky too, like.
Oh man, I remember that one game. Who they played against? That man went off against.
I don't know.
I forgot.
Right.
I'm old.
Next matchup.
Are we ready for the next team?
Yes.
All right. So we got Mario Austin, Quindary Witherspoon, Timmy Bowers against Lawrence Roberts, Eric Dampier, and Tang Hamilton.
Man, oh, that's a miss.
I'm not going to try to pronounce
Tang's.
I'm not going to try to pronounce Tang's whole name. I used to screw it up when I was a little kid because this guy is a legend in my hometown. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, who Tang Hamilton is. You know, if you're from
Right.
Jackson,
Ain't from Wayne County.
No,
What Tang Hamilton from?
Jackson, Mississippi. He's a Lanier Bulldog,
Oh,
homie.
Jackson. Damn, show me. He went to Provine or something?
No, Ricardo, I'm about to mute you.
Hey,
He went to Lanier, bruh.
Okay, I knew one of them schools. I forget.
Yeah.
8833.
Oh, now you want to holler 833. All right, so Jeremiah, take it away.
All right, man. So I guess I'll get started on my opinion first on this. I would, honestly, I know people are going to look like, oh, it's mismatched. So I think people looking on the right side ain't going to look at the names, Roberts, Dampier, Hamilton, Tang. I remember him even when I was in high school. I'd come to see some of my games and, watch him play. But if I'm looking at the squads and which team is better built to win, I had to go with the Bowers, Weatherspoon, Austin team. Austin could play, although I think Robert Jackson was better. Quindary Weatherspoon was a really good, solid 4-year starter. And then you got Timmy Bowers. He could ball. I would take that team. They got better ball handlers. They got better all-around players, especially if it's a 3-on-3. I definitely think they would win because I don't think the team on the right with Roberts, Dampier, and Hamilton, they don't have any ball handlers. Who's going to handle the rock?
I ain't can handle it now.
Yeah, he could.
I ain't can handle it.
He
was 6'8", but he could handle the ball. That's why, that's kind of why I put them together, because,
You had to do that at Lanier.
And here's the thing, too. Even in a game like that, you think a guy like Dampier will pretty much get neutralized because he's a rim protector, but at the same time, none of those guys really are slashers. All them guys are shooters. I mean, Quindary could do that a little bit, but those guys can score in a multitude of ways. So it's not like he's having guys that are like slashers. Because Jamont was kind of like that. Like if it was Jamont versus Dampier team, that'll be different. But in this sense, these are guys that can shoot the ball. They can score in a multitude of ways. So I personally would go with the Bowers, Weatherspoon, Austin squad.
All right. Ricardo.
Jeremiah just brought up a name that I feel like should have been on that list. I feel like
Jamon Gordon. Jamon Gordon is on the list, but let's focus on this matchup right here.
All right.
I left Charles Rose off. I'm sorry. I left Horatio West off.
Is this biased?
I'm sorry. Let's just go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with the Timmy Bowers list too, man. I think I'm gonna agree with Jeremiah. You got to have some ball handlers. You got to have some people to create their own shot. All of that for he's create opportunity for other people. Yeah, those other guys, they're long and all of that, but like Mario Austin wasn't a slouch. Timmy Bowers wasn't a slouch either. And Q speaks for itself. Like he got to go down as like top 3, 4. They'll come through state.
2 guards, sure.
So, with that team, I feel like that team is gonna win with a shoe in, my personal opinion, because like you got all those ball handlers, like pick your poison. Timmy Bowers hit one of I'll never forget this watching on Jefferson Pilot Sports when I was in high school. I was out of school when they beat Alabama at the buzzer. Like I
was in college then, so I'm pretty sure you were out of school.
I was out of school. Yeah, I remember that watching that on like either Saturday or Sunday. And I know y'all remember this. Alabama smashed us in Starkville because I went to that game. They beat the hell out of Mississippi State in Starkville, but we came back and beat them in Tuscaloosa. He hit that game-winning shot because I want to say he hit a couple free throws too. So he gonna always be there. Like I always put him over D. Boss, in my opinion. I felt like he was better than D. I felt like he was better than Derrick Zimmerman. Like he was that dude. Timmy Bowers was that dude to me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna roll with Lawrence Roberts, Dampier, and Tang. Simply because Tang, while he is not a true point guard, he can handle the rock and he can shoot it. Yeah, Dampier, I understand, when you're playing against a team like this where, all these 3 guys could shoot. But eventually, Dampier is going his ability to protect the rim and just be a dominant post player. It's going to come into play. And Lawrence Roberts, I mean, he could take it to the hoop and he could take it out. So
and he used to let me in when I came late to class, so I always give him points for that.
Yeah. So so I'm gonna roll with Roberts, Dampier, and Hamilton. Gabe, who you got? So right now it's 2 votes for Austin for Q's team and 1 vote for Dampier's team. Who you rolling with?
So I'm sitting here evaluating this in my head. You got one team of pretty much all bigs versus another team with pretty much no bigs. It's like
undersized.
Austin's a big.
Yeah.
Undersized a little bit though.
I mean, Tang Hamilton 6'8", he can neutralize him. But Timmy Bauer, I love Timmy Bauer's game when he was at State. He was tough and gritty, and Bowers would take it to you. But I mean, you can't take it to the paint when you got Dampier and Roberts in there. So it's kind of a tough little matchup right here because of the differences in styles. Ooh-wee. What? I might have
Carter,
to go
will
ahead
you mute your phone when you sipping on that darn drink? Good grief.
I think
I forgot.
let me see, man. Ooh, that's a tough call for me right there.
Because if you vote Roberts, Dampier, and Hamilton, Arthur's going to have to be the tiebreaker.
Well, we might give it to the fans.
So you got a true power forward, true center, and a what is it?
I like that idea, Jeremiah.
You know what? I think it's the offense. It's the offense that's throwing me because if one of these guys is shooting streaky, then they're gonna lose on the Austin team because you got nothing on the inside. But on the other hand, this other team is all paint. I think I have to go with Dampier team.
Oh man, we got a tiebreaker now.
2 for 2, so we don't have to post this.
Yeah, because if you let Tang run the point and he's just dumping it into Roberts and Damp, you can't stop them. They just gonna bucket. Then you gonna come back down and Bauer's gonna break you down, or Austin or Q gonna shoot points from the outside. So I think I have to go with the Damp team overall.
All right, so we got our first tiebreaker, and we're gonna post this, and hopefully the polls are back up so that fans can vote. So now to slide 3. All right, the team, one of the teams I got fussed at about, Derek Zimmerman, Jamont Gordon, and Eric Holman. Somebody said that I should have subbed Holman for Charles Rhodes, but he decided to roll with his team intact versus Renardo Sidney, the great Bailey Howell, and Barry Stewart. Jeremiah, who you rolling with?
This is my team that's a sleeper. I know a lot of people are probably going to dismiss the team because people have just such hate in their heart for Renardo Sidney. But I think that Howell, Sidney, and Stewart team would wash this Zimmerman, Gordon, and Holman team. I don't even think it'd be close. They would dominate them. Like, when you look at Renardo Sidney at his best, he still was a supreme talent, even though his real problem, he gained all that weight and obviously had some of the other issues. But when you look at him as a basketball talent, he was pretty special. He could pass the ball. He still could shoot. He could dominate inside. You see him dunking there. He's a 300-pound guy grabbing the alleys. Then you throw in Bailey Hall, who some might consider the GOAT of Mississippi State basketball. And Barry Stewart could shoot and handle the rock. Not like a proficient ball handler where, he was your point guard and that type of guy, but he could shoot. And so when you compare, and Jamont wasn't really a true 2. I mean, true 1. He's more of a 3 guard. And then he was just really our best player at that time. And then you got Zim, who's good. Eric Holman, yeah. So, like I said, I would pick the Zimmerman, the Barry Stewart, Howell, and Sidney team. They were my sleeper in this tournament.
All right, Gabe.
Okay, this is the scenario of what happens in this game, okay? By the way, Zimmerman is also one of my all-time favorites. But this is what's happening. This game is going well. The Bailey Howell team is winning by a little bit. And then an official from the NCAA comes on the court with grades in his hand and he says, Ronaldo, Sidney, you are ineligible to play. Sidney punches the dude. Security comes in, has to clear the court. So the Zimmerman team wins by default because Ronaldo Sidney got his team disqualified for being a damn fool. That's the scenario.
Being that this is fantasy, that is really a fantasy, but that was funny. Ricardo, who are you rolling with?
Man, I probably the Zimmerman team, man, because as good and talented he was a wild card. And I can't really speak for you guys, but I remember the day I said at home, I just can't get him and that Elgin Bailey fight out of my head, man. Like
my basketball though.
Yeah, like I just really couldn't get that out of my head. So not taking away from his talent, even though like I don't want to go to the extent of calling him a counsel, man, but I just feel like a lot of things could have been avoided. So I'm gonna go with the difference.
But it's not. We got to think, man. It's not a referendum on what guys did off the court. We talking about just them getting 3-on-3, going out there and balling out. You know what I'm saying? We got to be fair to the guy. Let's make it about basketball. So if it's about basketball, he was a prodigious talent.
Yeah, he was there. Even though he didn't reach his full potential at state.
At all.
But you know what I'm saying? I might have go with like Zimmerman. I can't. If we going based off of what these people did at Mississippi State, I'm going with the Zimmerman team.
All right, so comes down to me. If I vote Zimmerman, Gordon, and Holman, Sidney, Howell, and Stewart go home. Now, when you look at this team with Jamont and Zimmerman and Holman, basically you have a point guard in Zimmerman, I guess you can say a combo guard in Gordon, and a stretch 3-4 in Holman. And I think Gordon's going to get upset with Holman because he really wanted Rose on his squad. So I'm going to roll with Sidney, Howell, and Stewart because I think Bailey is going to be able to get Ronaldo under control. And Barry Stewart is one of the most clutch players we've had at Mississippi State. So we have another tiebreaker where the fans are going to have to decide. You know, so I'm rolling with Ronaldo, Bailey, and Barry. All right. So for the last team for the night, we got SWAT. You know, Carter and Super D. We got versus D-Boss and Dante Jones and Tyrone Washington.
Ooh, this is a good matchup.
Ricardo, you go first.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Run that first team you read off.
SWAT, Tyson SWAT? Carter's, Jarvis Vernon. Bro, how you gonna be a Mississippi State Bulldog fan? You don't know who SWAT is?
Man, hey, you know.
What you got?
No. You aren't allowed to be a Mississippi State fan. You don't know who SWAT is. Like,
oh my God.
It slipped my mind, man. Like all I know about his name, I didn't know what you know what I'm saying. All I know of Ronaldo, that's all I remember him about.
He was known for swatting.
Oh, yeah, for block,
basketball.
Stadium blocks? Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we got Jarvis Vernon, Tyson Carter's dad, and Darrell Wilson versus D-Boss, Dante Jones, and Tyrone Washington.
Woo! It really should be more like Greg Carter's son, but whatever. Let's keep
Greg Carter's son. Greg Carter. You know.
Facts, but you know.
Yeah. All right, Ricardo, goodness. Come on.
Goodness gracious alive. I'm ready to go with the second team, man.
What?
Why?
Why?
Dante, bro. Dante was the truth, man. He was one of the main cogs of that Final Four team, bro. Like, he had some big games, man. Like, if the State would have won that championship, he would have got most important player. Like, I watched that whole player from the SEC tournament to, like, come on, man. Like, we really underappreciate that guy, man. Like, I don't understand why. Like, yeah, Dan Pierre was on that team, Darrell Wilson and all them. Like, they had a damn good squad. But Dante Jones with that dude, like he was like a walking mismatch, man. He could take you in or out. Like that was the first dude I seen to play for State that did that. Like that had that kind of, I'm not saying that he's like him, but had a quote unquote kind of Kevin Garnett game. Like he was a great value Kevin Garnett. Like a diet Kevin Garnett. Like that's the first dude I saw. Like, man, this dude, he taking it in and out. He was a mismatch for people. Like, and then he beat he was one of the main reasons they beat that Kentucky team. Like,
well, he showed him be Kobe in them pre-draft workouts, but whatever.
One vote for Boss, Jones, and Washington. Gabe, you're up next.
I'm looking at this, and first of all, I don't know a whole lot about Washington. I really don't. Was he a 3 or 4 or what?
I think he's a 4.
Tyrone Washington.
Yeah.
He was a 4-5 at State.
Okay. So I'm going with the Carter team because Bernardo was obviously, a Spider-Man in the middle, throwing every shot in sight. Greg Carter was there when I was there. He was a great 2-guard, very, very athletic skill with the ball in his hand. Of course, Darryl Wilson, shoot the lights out of the place. But he also played gritty defense, very, very scrappy. D-Boss can straight up ball. D-Boss can hoop. And we all know Jones. I used to call him Vinnie Johnson because he was streaky, but when he got hot, forget about it. Forget about it. And like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Washington, but overall, I think this Carter team, man, would be real hard to beat on offense and on defense combined. Because all these guys play defense. All 3 of them play defense, and all 3 of them could, Bernardo wasn't an offensive genius, but he get it in the bucket. Yeah. So I'm going with the Carter team on this one.
All right. I'm going to go next. This is easy for me because you know what? Darryl Wilson was good at making the ball go in the net. And Jarvis Bernardo was good at keeping the ball out the net. And Greg Carter was just an all-around great player. While I like D-Boss, I'm definitely a big fan of Dante Jones and the underrated Tyrone Washington. I just don't think that they're going to be able to do anything with Bernardo, Carter, and Wilson. All right, so we got 2 votes for Bernardo, Carter, and Wilson, 1 vote for Boss, Jones, and Washington. Will we have our third tiebreaker? That's going to be up to you, Jeremiah. Who you rolling with?
I got to go with Wilson, Carter, and Bernardo. I just like how that team is built, one. But I think if you just look at the overall matchup between those guys, and I think this is a team that's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams with the way they're constructed. But you look at, as you said, Darryl Wilson could put the ball in the hole from 3. They got a 3-point shooter. Greg Carter was an all-around player. And I think Bernardo in this particular matchup is the equalizer because he pretty much neutralizes every player on the other team. Jones is a slasher. D-Boss was a slasher. Those guys just aren't as effective. They can't slash and do things. So Bernardo's pretty much going to – obviously D-Boss played with Jarvis Bernardo, but he would erase everything they did. So I think this is a game – I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think they will win it going away.
All right. So we have our winner for this bracket. Bernardo, Carter, and Wilson will move forward. Tonight I will try and post, or I may even do it in the morning, post a poll for those other 2 teams. Austin, Weatherspoon, and Bowers versus Robert Stampier and Hamilton. And team 3, Zimmerman, Gordon, and Holman versus Sidney, Howard, and Stewart. We all agreed that Mochi, Malone, and Johnson would take out Bullock, Perry, and Woodard. So fans, you're going to have to help us with those team 2 and team 3 matchups. Jeremiah?
Yes.
Take it away.
Oh, okay. Oh, go back to the regular screen. It was just throwing me off.
My bad.
Oh, no, you're all good. All right. So, man, I guess give everybody their final thoughts, maybe what's about the draft, anything going on in the world, whether or not they're ready to be an essential worker or not, anything of that nature. So, I'll start with Gabe, man. You got any final thoughts for the governor?
Hey, man. Like I said, I put the governor words in black and white. But man, in this time, and it's on everybody's mind, but you gotta say it again. Just want everybody to stay safe out there. Just stay safe, do what you gotta do. Keep yourself safe and your family safe. Just
wash your hands.
Right, wash your hands. Everything, things as we know it have changed forever. Things that we know have changed forever. For some reason, women's basketball keeps coming into my mind because I hate the way that season ended.
Vic don't love us no more.
Yeah.
Got McCray Pinson now.
Yeah, we're gonna be good. We have to do. We need to do a whole show on the women's team. We need to do a whole show on that from Nick and McCray.
Who we got been out.
Only 30 people gonna watch though. But I'm sorry. Ricardo, final thoughts.
Shame on you, Jeremiah.
Well, I just want everybody to try to be safe. I can't really go into the whole dynamics of what I feel like about when it comes to all this Budweiser virus stuff, man. You just do it.
Okay.
Because this is not the platform for me to speak on those subjects. But it is, like, honestly, it's people out here losing their lives, a lot of people. Just wash your hands, bathe, wear gloves, don't keep using the same gloves. And if you go to the grocery store and gas station, you see these people doing with these gloves and stuff, make them folk change their gloves, man. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I said. And that I'm a quote unquote essential employee because I'm top flight security of the world, Craig.
But you ain't got to go and got trail on tonight.
Yeah, man. Huh?
You ain't got to go and got trail on tonight.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I support everybody out there, all the people out here just working out here, and then plus the people that are at home, even the teachers and call center workers and everybody that can't, finish school this year because there's some people that's not even getting paid. So those are people that I really, feel bad for.
All right. Well, I work in healthcare IT, so I'm essential as well. And I just pray for the doctors and nurses that I know that I work with on a daily basis that are battling on the front lines with this coronavirus, hoping that we can eventually find a way around. Well, of course, we're going to be a while away for our vaccine, but just hoping that, people are able to live their lives and not have to be gone too soon. But when it comes to something like this, it's just tough because, man, it's just praying for everybody, even the rebels.
All right. And I want to just thank everybody for watching the episode. Just make sure you like, you subscribe, comment, give us your thoughts on everything, give us your feedback. We don't mind a little hateration, man. No such thing as bad publicity. So I just like the end, maybe come with a different ending, maybe with everybody saying Hell State to end. I don't know if Derek's going to rejoin us. Maybe it'd be a good way to kind of end the episode like we did with the Senzo. Try something a little different. So y'all go just say Hell State on 3, and then we sign off. 3, 2, 1. Hell State.
Hell State.
All right. Everybody have a great night.